Good evening and welcome to the Glens Common Council meeting for Tuesday, September 28, 2021. We'll start the meeting now with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Campanella.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, John. Could have done that a little faster. So at this point of our meeting, we ask for public comment. Is there anyone from the public that would like to come on up, Paul?
Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Olson, 9 East Boylston Street in Glens Falls. Here to once again, a month later, ask you please work on our behalf to get the paper road that was illegally cleared some 9 months ago reforested. We've gotten to the point where it's really become ridiculous. Mr. Mayor, I thank you very much. A month ago I came here, I asked you to intervene, you did. We've spoken numerous times since then. And unfortunately, the problem continues. We're being stonewalled here. You were led to believe when you called me 2 weeks ago on the 14th that a landscaper had been retained by Mr. Kelly to embark on reforestation.
Which I found out was false.
Correct. Okay, and this is the continuing problem that we've had here. This goes back, as I mentioned, to January when it was illegally cleared. The city engineer drafted a plan in February, which was presented to Chris Vanderzee. He, because Kelly was out of town, did not present it to Kelly, did not confer with him until May. I asked to be present at that conference. I was excluded specifically by Chris Vanderzee when that occurred. And all I wanted to know was, what is the plan and when is it going to take place? I was informed by email from Chris Vanderzee in late May that, quote unquote, an agreement was in place with Kelly. My attorney was in touch with the city attorney shortly thereafter and was told that there was a deadline. That deadline was July 6th, and that if things were not complete by July 6th, the city would embark on completing it by around July 30th. Okay? Well, there was fill brought back in, the grading was restored, but there's no trees, there is no vegetation, and we're now to the point where there's going to be frost somewhere in the next few weeks. So what's going to happen to anything that does get planted now? So now we get to go through another long period, and quite frankly, many of you will not be seeking re-election, and there'll be a whole new group that I guess he can then continue to stonewall come 2022. This really needs immediate attention.
Let me just interject real quick. So I think you're aware that he did have an insurance company adjuster look at the property to get a dollar figure to let him have an amount of money that he could spend to bring it back to where it should be. That's what I know. That's the last thing I've heard from him. And I'm just waiting for him to call me back with what that figure is.
Yeah, and that's been the stall now for about 6 weeks.
Well, not to me. It's been maybe 1 to 2 weeks.
Well,
I recently talked to him.
We were told that he had to meet with the adjuster.
Yep, and I think the adjuster, he was waiting on a figure.
Yeah, well, Chris Vanderzee and he met with the adjuster.
Yep.
And that actually occurred shortly before my last visit here. Because
we met after that too.
We were told at that point that, you know, we were going to have to wait for the adjuster.
Let me check again tomorrow, Mr. Olson, because I do know that they did talk with the adjuster. I think there was a dollar figure to ask.
Well, I still maintain, sir.
Let you know. What's that?
I still maintain that the city has the right to demand that its land be taken care of at whatever cost it takes. And quite frankly, to just hand the man a bill. I would expect that if I acted illegally.
Well,
this man has been given extension after extension. He has been given far more than I believe he is entitled to. And I, who am also in a butter to this property, have been shut out. Okay, I've been told by Chris Vanderzee you can't participate. He told my attorney, remind your client he doesn't own the paper road.
So let me tell you that I think he's lawyered up too. So you have a lawyer and he'll have a lawyer, and that's what'll happen.
Yeah, well, I'm not looking to file a suit. I'm simply looking to get the half dozen trees that were pulled out of there back in January replaced. And these were old
It's
growth trees.
understandable, and I understand exactly where you're coming from, but now it looks like it's in the lawyer's hands. You got a lawyer, he's got a lawyer.
Well, my lawyer has simply been asking, since Chris Vanderzee
Yeah.
would not talk to me, to try to get answers. That's been the sole purpose of my attorney, and it's cost me thousands of dollars to do. I'm not looking to sue anybody. I just want the land restored. I want to be able to look out my window and see something other than barren land.
Well, let me tell you that I will again check to see where it is tomorrow, and as my word, as it last time, I'll call you tomorrow and let you know, and if there's anything that is, I'll find out what his situation is with the adjuster, the attorney, and so on. I'll give you a call.
Well, I appreciate that, but I'd really like to see something actually happen here, and I'd like him to be given a deadline. I'd like to see something established so that I can have some expectation on when this is going to be done.
Sure,
You know,
understand.
numerous people in the city have said, well, it's 90% done. And I liken that to someone having an unfortunate accident and severing all 10 fingers, having an attorney, reattach all but the right thumb and say, well, it's 90% done. Oh, gee, what a shame, you're right-handed. Okay, this is what we're dealing with here. Okay, the enjoyment of my property has been diminished because of an illegal action by this man on your property. I have no legal standing to take on him because he did not offend me. Okay, my only recourse is to work through the city.
Correct.
I've attempted to do that. I've been courteous, I've been patient.
I
We are
don't
9
disagree
months
with that.
into this,
I don't
sir,
disagree
and I
with that.
need it resolved.
Again, there's insurance companies, adjusters involved, and he supposedly has gotten an answer back, and I will call you tomorrow and tell you what answer that I got.
I'll look forward to hearing from you, and I
You will.
hope I can be here fairly soon to thank you all very much for your action.
Well-
That's what I'd really like to be able to do.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public would like to address the common council? Okay, so this evening, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have a presentation by Glens Falls Group regarding potential bike community improvements in the city of Glens Falls. You all, I believe, got a handout. So I would ask for you folks to come up and give us your name and address and do a presentation for us.
Hi there. Thanks for having us tonight. My name is Ethan Gaddy. I'm from 38 Cunningham. Been a resident for the last 2.5 to 3 years, and with me is Norvell Greenberger.
I'm at 64 Garfield, also been a resident for about 3 years now.
So we're here to present to the City Council the idea of Bike Glens Falls. This is a resident-led initiative to develop a bicycle master plan for the city of Glens Falls. The idea behind it is to have a safe, comfortable, and connected bike network in the city. Not necessarily for recreation or fitness, but for practical purposes. How do you get to your day-to-day activities on a bicycle? It's, going to school, farmer's market, downtown. So the purpose of, this whole plan is to develop a big vision for the city over a long term. Up to date, the city has done a lot of good work. Feeder Canalway Trail, Warren County Bikeway, we've got some bike lanes on Hudson Avenue. But right now, there's not one overall theme that we're working towards. So we'd like to propose developing a plan that will connect all these assets. We'd like to identify the priority connections by working with residents. And then through development of this plan, we'll have the priority intersections, corridors, activity centers. We're going to develop some conceptual improvements to those. And from there, we're going to prioritize those some over the other so the city can strategically approach this, identify project partners that might help get this done, and then look at potential funding sources. It will behoove the city to have a plan in place when it comes time to apply for grants, something that represents public engagement and taking a long-term view of how to develop this infrastructure. And tonight we're really not asking the city for anything aside from a endorsement of our project approach. And Norvell can fill us in on sort of
Sure.
where we are today, what we've been up to, and then what the next steps are.
So thank you, Ethan. Thanks for having us tonight. So we came about this rather selfishly because we bike to work. We used to work together. We're both professional planners. And we did a lot of research into the past plans that had been done for the city and saw that there hadn't been a more recent comprehensive citywide plan. And we thought there was kind of a gap that could be filled and that we wanted to contribute our free time to work on that. We started having conversations about a year and a half ago, and then COVID hit, those conversations stopped. And we started back up again in early summer. We spoke with the mayor, with some of the council members, with AGFTC. We got an endorsement from the ACA as well. And kind of with that, the work plan that you see before you tonight. And after that, we had our first public event in July at the Shirt Factory, really getting the community engaged, because this can't be a plan that just comes from us. It needs to really be a community initiative if it's going to be something to come before you for adoption. We've now been meeting once a month or every 2 weeks more frequently, identifying where are the places people want to bike to, what are the key corridors, and we're now collecting some data to start going to the next step of identifying what are those improvements that can take place. We have a website that's very lacking right now, but will be built up, where we'll have a lot of information about, minutes from all the meetings, making sure this is truly a transparent process. We've also been engaging on social media. We have about 150 people on Instagram that are keeping up to date and then participating in surveys. And the committee itself has about 20 or so people that have been participating in some way or another.
Right.
So yeah, we're here tonight. If you have any questions about the work plan, we're happy to answer them. Also, we can come here and give you updates as frequently or infrequently as you like, so just let us know.
Right, and I will say this does dovetail perfectly with, it's great to have the governor here on Saturday, congratulate the city on the sustainability efforts, and this is really keeping with that. Reducing the carbon footprint by using alternative transportation. It's an easy way to meet some of the climate goals, and it's also a good way to attract new residents, retain existing residents.
Well, we appreciate you coming. I just handed out the work plan, unfortunately, so I don't know if everybody got a chance to look at it, but we very receptive to the idea. We're glad to work with you. You give us a little bit of idea of what you need from us, and I'm sure that we will be glad to do that and try to get a plan together. As you say, we've done different plans over the years, and we do have a lot of connectors. We're going to be doing the Coles Woods Trail. We have the one from Kensington. We are also doing, Diana Palmer doing Webster Avenue. It's going to be our next transportation project. Similar to Dix Avenue, not quite as extensive, but that also could tie in with that intersection with the bike. We go down to Crandall Park, then we could take it down Webster Avenue and connect down, to the bike trail. So, those are all good things. We'll definitely, be glad to work with you in any way we can. I don't know if any of the council members have any comments, but we're glad to see you volunteering for that.
Yeah, it would be great to capture, all that work that you're doing and you have planned in one place, and that will really make the case for grant funding a lot stronger going forward. To say that we're working towards a big vision, and it may not happen overnight, it may take years, but it really does make grant funding more competitive.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yeah, I want to thank you both. We're lucky in Glens Falls to have residents who care so much about the city, and you're both planners and have expertise and are donating your time. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Great.
Great.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, great, you got our contact information.
Thank you.
Reach out with any questions.
Yeah.
All right, great.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next part of our meeting is the committee reports. Ms. Reed.
The Personnel Committee met again this evening with our CSEA union counterparts, and we will continue to be doing that for the foreseeable meeting Tuesdays. We meet before this meeting, and we've scheduled for 3 more anyway, but we hope to have it wrapped up before the end of the year.
Great. Ms. Campbell.
No report.
Mr. Collins?
Have no report.
Okay. Ms. Palmer.
Just 2 quick updates. The Technology Committee, as I reported last time, met to consider some upgrades to our backup systems and cybersecurity, and I'm expecting the new quote tomorrow. So when I get that, I will call another meeting. And then for building and codes, I emailed the committee, but as you know, we've been working on this shared effort, and the full board of the county did finally pass a 1-year contract with Granicus, so that's good news. That'll save us some money, and I did ask for an update on when we might expect that data, but I haven't heard back, so as soon as I get that, I'll let you know.
Okay, great. Thank you. Mr. Edinburgh?
I have none.
Okay. We'll move on to our resolutions. The first resolution is approving the minutes of September 14th, 2021 meeting of Glens Falls Common Council. And the third is a resolution approving requests to use city parks as recommended by the Recreation Commission as listed on the attached.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Under roll call vote, is there anything you'd like to pull for further discussion? Number two is a resolution approving the minutes of the September 14th, 2021 meeting of Glens Falls Common Council. Three is a resolution approving request by the use of city parks as recommended by the Recreation. Go ahead, did you? No. Did I?
You gotta start
I'm
four.
gonna roll call. Resolution authorizes city bond council to prepare formal bond resolution pursuant to the provisions of local finance law for issuance of bonds to pay the cost of the city's share of combined sewer overflow abatement projects on Maple and Walnut Streets. 5 is a resolution authorizing the city bond council to prepare a formal bond resolution pursuant to the provisions of the local finance law for the issuance of bonds to pay the cost of city share of Elm Street parking lot stormwater management project. 6, a resolution approving the 2022 City of Glens Falls contribution of $57,868 to Greater Glens Falls Transit's 2022 budget and authorizing the controller to incorporate that amount into the City of Glens Falls 2022 general fund budget. 7 is a resolution approving a budget increase of the roof repair project JS approved by the Common Council on August 11th, 2020 from $538,140 to $3,345,598 to include the costs associated with replacement of the cooling sharing arena roof and the city hall roof, and further approving borrowing for the project at a maximum project cost of $3,500,000, and authorizing city bond council to prepare formal bond resolutions pursuant to local finance law for the issuance of bonds to pay the cost of the city roof and the cooling sharing arena replacement. 8 is a resolution approving a minor budget amendment for the 2020 program year under the City of Glens Falls Entitlement Community Development Block Grant CDBG program. 9 is a resolution approving community development manual payments of $10,822.55. 10 is a resolution authorizing the controller to increase general fund revenue line A009999-1589A miscellaneous public safety income by $1,483.14, and increase general fund expense line A23120 1100 police overtime by $1,483.14. 11 is a resolution approving an encroachment permit as approved by Mayor Hall on Thursday, September 23rd, 2021, subject to retroactive common council approval to allow PCC contracting to place 2 60-foot boom lifts on the sidewalk in front of 240 to 250 Glen Street for facade work for Glens Falls National Bank from current date through October 31st, 2021, subject to 5 stipulations by the city engineer listed on the attached. 12 is a resolution approving and authorizing the placement of the following one proposition pertaining to the Crandall Public Library district on the ballot in all voting locations in the City of Glens Falls on general election day, Tuesday, November 2nd, 2021, and as it reads, the budget, the proposed 2022 budget of the Crandall Public Library District is $5,172,423, and is to be partially funded by the municipalities comprising the library district. The share of the proposed budget to be partially funded and raised ad valorem assessment upon real property located with the City of Glens Falls is $937,522. Shall the budget be approved? Be it further resolved that the city clerk is hereby authorized and directed to transmit a certified copy of the text of the aforedescribed proposition to the Warren County Board of Elections or other appropriate officials of the same to be submitted in and from the form set forth within. 13 is a resolution approving the warrant.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilman at Reeves,
Yes.
Councilman Campbell,
Yes.
Councilman Collins,
Yes.
Councilman Palmer,
Yes.
Councilman Underberg.
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Reed.
I would like to raise a resolution from the floor, if I might. A resolution authorizing the city to name the walkway from Horicon Avenue into Crandall Park after former city attorney Ronald Newell to be known hereafter as Newell Way.
So moved. Second.
Roll call vote.
Councilman at Large Reed.
Yes.
Councilman Campbell.
Absolutely.
Councilman Collins.
Yes.
Councilwoman Palmer.
Yes.
Councilman Under.
Yes.
Okay, great. Excellent. Old business, Ms. Reed.
I have none.
I don't have any.
How about you, Mr. Collins?
I don't know if it's old business or new business, but I see Mr. Flagg here, and I didn't know if you were going to mention the city's recognition as a climate smart community.
Yeah, I was gonna do it here.
Yeah.
We could actually,
Go ahead.
let's have him do it at the very end.
Great. So no, I
Okay.
have none.
I have none.
I have none.
Okay, how about new business, Ms. Reed?
I have nothing further, thank you.
Mr. Campbell?
Happy to see the completion of Dix Avenue. Got a lot of calls about how nice it is,
It's great.
and also Glen Street. So thank you to the mayor and the council for all the work with all the roads in Glens Falls. We've
DPW.
done a lot more than we have in the past, and it's all looking good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Collins?
I have none. Can't top that.
I did want to mention that we put a notification out that open pickup will start on October 12th. Also, I just wanted to bring up that I'm sure, I don't know if all of you get calls, but I get a lot of calls from people saying, you know, people have left piles out and it's outside of pickup time, or in some cases people have left a mattress out or something else. And we were talking about this at one of our last building and code staff meetings, and we were kind of brainstorming ideas. And something we came up with is potentially offering almost like a by appointment opportunity for residents to call outside of open pickup season and say, I'd like to put out some pickup or a piece of furniture, and then they would schedule a time when DPW could come, and there would be a fee for that. And I did talk to Tom about it, and he thinks that that's something they could do if it was by appointment. So it's nothing for sure yet, but I just didn't know if anyone had any thoughts about it, because I think that would give us another solution instead of just fighting this year after year with people who just put it out.
couch on the side of the road.
Yeah, so,
Right, you know, there are companies that advertise very effectively about coming and picking up your stuff, and they have incredibly hefty fee schedules, but their fee schedules are online at their site, and I think we could download a few of them you know, and I think we should be competitive. I don't think we should be doing this for next to nothing.
right,
I mean,
yeah.
off season. But,
Yeah.
but it could actually, you know, be well worth it.
So we brought it up, as Ms. Palmer said, at Buildings and Codes, and we found out that other communities do it, so we'll do our research, and I appreciate you bringing it up, because it is something that's,
Yeah, nice.
happens all the time, so we need to have a plan, and I think that our next Buildings and Codes will bring it up, and we'll try to formulate a plan. Thank you for bringing it up.
Okay.
Mr. Enderberry?
I have none.
Okay. So I have a couple of things. You know what, Jeffrey? I'm gonna ask you to come up and you can cover the things that I had about the visit we had by Empire State Development and also the visit by the governor. So why don't you come on up? Your name and address, please?
Jeffrey Flagg, 49 East Beacon Street. Okay, what did you ask about?
Empire State
Oh,
Development.
okay, so we did have a meeting with Mike DeVoli, the regional director of Empire State Development, who came to visit on Thursday. Had a brief meeting with him and some of his staff, and then did a walk around of the city. We essentially were trying to sort of clarify some of the things that had been covered right, previously, that, Empire State Development was sort of trying to keep up with us with the developments that we're doing with Market Square, right, the Market Center, and then the miscellaneous sort of components of the DRI. We didn't really have, there was no, we were all on the same page, let me just say. They were very comfortable with the variations, the deviations, if you will, that we've had from the original versions. Obviously, they were aware of the fact that we had gotten some pricing from the Market Center, which was far out of, vastly inconsistent with the budget that we had. So we're sort of revisiting those with the architecture firm. They're very comfortable with that. We've discussed the concept of moving a parking structure from the South Street pavilion lot, we'll call it, to the Elm Street lot potentially. They have no problem with that. There is, I suppose, the one issue we're going to have to deal with is the reimbursement issue, right? Because it appears that the vast majority of the work that has to be done for the DRI will have to be done prior to receiving reimbursement. So, we'll discuss with the council the ways we may go about sort of working through that so we can make sure we can get the projects done. But there's nothing that was discussed that was a point of contention with them. Obviously, the Empire State Development is anxious to get these projects moving forward. At the same time, they're very understanding of the fact that we're having, enormous problems with COVID, with cost of materials, with all sorts of different issues. So nothing that would bring up a cause for concern unless you had something to mention.
So I was going to tell you about the tour.
After we're done, we took a tour of the downtown area. They were very impressed, I will say, that they were extremely pleased, not only with the work that had been done with the sort of peripheral projects, the GF Drive. We were able to go and see at least, I think, 7 of the 8 projects that we've, or go by, 7 of the 8 projects that we've done through GF Drive. We also saw the 2 facade programs that we've done. These are all through the HCR programs, the Home and Community Resources component of the DRI. So they were very pleased with those as well. So, and what's more, they were very impressed with the amount of private investment that's been done, even to some extent in anticipation of the sort of the core components that we'll see down on South Street. So the mayor had sort of compiled or helped to compile, I guess, or sought with the compiling of a lot of the private investment that had been done. And we got to go by and see a lot of that. So, I think it was, there's obviously a lot of things that you still need to work through with Empire State Development, but they're clearly, they have our back as far as moving forward in the project. So I don't see any particular problems going forward, with the exception of timing, I guess. Secondly, we, on the heels of our reception at the end of the second quarter of Climate Smart Community status, bronze certification, the DEC contacted me early last week and it indicated that they want to do some sort of a press event. There were numerous states or cities around and communities around the state that had received certification. They wanted to do some sort of a press event Friday and Saturday were the ends of Climate Week in New York State anyway. I believe it's a national event, but anyway, they decided toward the end of the week, really end of the week, meaning like Thursday, that we were going to get a special visitor to join the DEC, and that was the governor. And so the governor decided to come on Saturday, and so we had an event right down at the outside of the bandstand, and the governor sort of spoke for a few minutes actually, talking about the accomplishments we've made as a Climate Smart community. Incidentally, Queensbury has also become a bronze certified Climate Smart community. Warren County already is. The town and village of Lake George already are. So we have a sort of a core component, and I think there is some momentum on our side, especially to the extent that, without doing any calculations, it's very possible that Warren County probably has more Climate Smart community residents per capita than any county in the state. So I'm going to double check that, but I think it would not be surprising to find that out, given the fact that a large portion of our citizenry in Warren County are under that umbrella. So we're going to keep moving. We have issued an RFP for the Climate Smart Communities grant that we received to do further things, particularly greenhouse gas inventory and climate action plans. They will get us, doing those alone will get us probably 80% of the way towards silver certification, which would move us from a group of about 80 communities in the state to a group of about 8. There are several counties and a couple of cities and a couple of small villages down in the lower Hudson Valley that have silver certification. But I think within the next year, I think we could probably become part of that elite group. So it's a very successful weekend, I think.
So Jeffrey, I want to take this time to thank you as your first entry into being an advanced man. You did a very good job.
Yes, well, you have to, yeah, they were very grateful for the fact that we appreciated how fluid these events can be. The plans were changing by the moment.
Yes.
At some point when we found out the governor was going to be getting here considerably earlier than we'd originally planned, we didn't know what to do with her. And when I say that, I mean they didn't know how she would sort of accommodate. So there was originally a plan to do maybe something in the Pittsburgh Hotel, have her wait there, and we eventually decided to just have the event a little bit earlier.
Do you have your house?
No, we couldn't fit everybody in my house, but we did. We had about a half hour early, and fortunately, most of the people we were able to contact, the important people we needed, we were able to contact to be there. So it worked very well. And I appreciate the support of the city. As I mentioned in my comments, I was being very sincere when I said, I have yet to, when we talk about sustainability issues, I have yet to sort of raise anything of substance that this city council has not been supportive of. So obviously there are, restrictions to what we're able to do, sometimes fiscally, sometimes politically, sometimes whatever. But there's been enormous support from the city, and I, in turn, are very grateful and appreciative of all your efforts.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So again, this is a busy weekend. We had a balloon festival party on Thursday night. We had Americade, so restaurants were packed all weekend, so it was very, very successful. The last thing I wanted to talk about is I have a letter of commendation here. And the letter of commendation is for 3 of the Department of Public Works employees. They being Tyrone Bapp, Jody Clark, and Robert Gerard. And I'll read the letter of commendation. On Wednesday, September 22nd, 2021, you were involved in an incident where your actions were fundamental in achieving a cardiac arrest reversal. Your quick recognition and intervention went far beyond what your job requires. This exemplifies what our city strives for and its employees. From identifying a situation to providing life-saving CPR until the arrival of the fire department, your actions were consummated, focused, and selfless in ensuring the best possible outcome. The professionalism you displayed reflects positively on you, Department of Public Works, and the city. Our city is what it is today because of employees like you. You have demonstrated the unparalleled level of service that our community has come to expect. This letter serves to commend you for the part you played in this incident. Sincerely, James P. Schrammel, Fire Chief of the City of Glens Falls. So let's give them a little round of applause. So I think that was a fantastic, that they were trained enough and were able to recognize that, and I also give Chief Schrammel some credit for recognizing that. So, is there anyone from the public that would like to address the Common Council?
Hi, I'm Mark Hagan, 19 William Street. A lot of good news, it's good to hear. We have some good news. We have Grandma's Table this weekend, this Sunday. So I'll get Candace to reach out to anyone that might be interested in serving. We have Boo to You is going to be bigger and better than ever. We might even get a candy sponsor to give us the candy to give to the kids, which would be great because that's probably the biggest expense of Boo to You. And I know at the store we've gone through $500 worth of candy easily. And that's a big expense for a small business. So, but the big news is, and you guys passed it tonight, Chris Krindelmart is coming to Glens Falls. And it's going to bring 5,000 people a day for 3 or 4 days. The first day it might be more of a setup, but it's going to be right here in City Park. They're going to get 3 giant tents with heaters and all kinds of vendors coming in, and it's going to make it a very festive holiday season. It'll happen the same weekend as hometown holidays, so it'll all kind of roll in together, and it'll be a wonderful weekend and a great opportunity. And hopefully, if we do well this year, we can expand it in future years to 2 weeks or maybe 3 or even 4 weeks, so.
That's great.
Wonderful.
So also Santa's gonna drive around the city.
And Santa's gonna drive around the city again, yeah. I don't have the details on that yet, but Santa keeps those
Drive
things.
a sleigh or what?
Well, you could be in a fire truck or in a flatbed.
Pickup truck with a DJ, but, you know.
But it was great, it was very,
Yes, the
very
kids
well
loved it, they did, they really did. They wanted us to do it again, so.
It's great.
All right,
Wonderful.
thank you.
Thank you for
Thank you.
all you do.
Thank you, guys.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the council? Great. Seeing none, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
All right.